Chloe, you wanted to start with this flag nonsense, and I feel like every single time we start a chat like this, we're talking about some bastardization of the flag, and that isn't a swear word, by the way. Bastardization is a word, so anyone offended by that, try another channel. And you wanted to talk about this, Chloe. You've been quite upset, and explain to us what it is that's got you so irate.
Well, that it's more than one piece of news that is in the
Mm.
flag bashing category this week and in the last couple of weeks. So I've got a few things to mention. So first of all, we've got the Team GB flag, where now you can question their motives. Was this just a graphic design disaster, or was it flag bashing? I think it probably was the latter. They've changed the Team GB flag, and it's now full of sort of pink and purple colours and pretty textures and dots and swirls. It doesn't look like a British flag at all. This
This
should
thing.
not be our I know, look at that disgusting piece of rubbish. Now, anyone who's done some basics in graphic design knows that you need good contrast between colours. There should be some bold whites in there, as we do in our British flag, which is designed beautifully. And doesn't look at that. That looks like it should be a Weatherspoons carpet or something. It looks absolutely disgusting. So
There
there's
is
that.
nothing wrong with Weatherspoon's carpet,
No.
Chloe.
And this follows on from what we saw happen with the flag on the English football shirt, turned from the St. George's flag, cancelled and turned into something which apparently looks like the bisexual flag. To me, looks like some kind of weird medical cross. I don't even know. Clearly, this is just anti-white bigotry.
Well,
You wouldn't
look,
see this happen to any other flag from
the
any other
people
country.
have spoken, and the people, of course, read the People's Paper, which is the Daily Mail. Please don't tell my employers that I said that. And they say, how do you feel about Team GB's decision to rebrand their Union Jack flag? And people agree with you, Chloe. Nearly 7,000 votes, 92% say not for me, stick with tradition. But some might argue, Chloe, that everything needs a new lick of paint.
No, not the British flag. I think it is
I mean,
lovely
I'm being
as
slightly
it is.
hypocritical because there is a massive British flag behind me that
I have
has
to say
been.
that looks something like that Team GB one, Darren.
Yes,
So
but
you
this,
might need to change
in my
that.
defense, this isn't meant to represent the national team, right? This is meant to just represent a nice, fun take on
That's
British
true. Yes.
Isn't that
patriotism.
is
Give you a bit of
isn't that the
benefit of the
nuance? Yeah, it
I
feels to me
think
like
it's so.
that's the
Yeah,
nuance here,
yeah.
right? It's like it's when was it Nike who did the England Adidas or Nike? I can't remember which one who did the England football kit. It's like,
Nike. Yeah.
well, this is not Nike, yeah. This is our national flag. It's different. It's different when you're applying it to have some sort of marketing material or trying to put a little bit of a spin on it. If you're trying to raise brand awareness or do something a bit wacky with it, that's fine. We see everyone from the Rolling Stones doing that onwards. That's okay. But it's when you're representing your country, you might get people around the world going, "What country is that?" Not forgetting that the Union Jack, the
Hairdos.
Union flag is used in many countries around the world in their flags too. So I don't think we should bastardize it, as you would say, Darren. I don't think we should.
Well, Alex, they
So
have
is
put
that you
that
giving
when
a
they have.
shout out, Alex, to British colonialism? You racist
I love it.
fascist.
Listen, if they choose to keep the flag and they vote to keep the flag, then that's their choice. Nothing wrong with a bit of British colonialism. It did great all around the world.
That'll get the comments going. Where's our
So
friend
they have
Imran?
We've
apparently
already
pushed
got
back and defended themselves and said that this disgusting new flag will only be used for merchandise and that it
Yeah,
won't
which it
be
is there.
used
Look,
for people
right.
speaking.
That's it on a water bottle. That's it on the flags and stuff. But I don't want to see a
I
stadium full
wouldn't
of
buy
people
that.
waving that thing.
Look how dark it is. That's not going to
I
stand
know.
out in the
Yeah, I
crowd.
couldn't agree more.
Horrendous.
Actually, I don't know what that
that's
is. It
that's
looks
the
like
thing.
it looks like an advertisement for an aquarium, not for the the British
Yeah,
state.
if you held that back a little bit in a stadium, you wouldn't know what flag they're waving. You'd think, God, what country am I playing? And
Exactly.
it just looks so
But is that
ridiculous.
not
And
the
the thing that
idea, Alex? Is that not the point that they actually do want to reduce icons and symbols of British identity and patriotism and reduce it to being absolutely nothing? I mean, you've got Nike's bastardization of the St. George's Cross to make it more inclusive. Apparently, it includes the bisexual flag and all of these other things. And then, of course, the Union Jack itself receiving this aquarium new. It looks like it should be made out of foam or something. It really, it looks, it's very childlike. I don't like it whatsoever. Like, what's wrong with just sticking to how things are? You'd probably save a
You know
penny. I
what?
wonder how much they've paid some woke graphic designer to put this together.
You
They're
know
not
what
very
it
good
is,
graphic
Darren?
designer.
Yeah, well, they're not. They're awful. They're awful. But do you know what it is? There's somebody working in Team GB or at Nike has told in order to increase sales of our products, we need to bastardize the flag somehow. We need to
Mm,
make it stand out. We need to give it a lick of paint. That's what's obviously going on. We've got all these woke people working in the creative industry who are brainwashed from university onwards, and then they go in and go, how about this? And then, but rather than saying to their bosses, oh, by the way, I'm sneaking the bisexual flag in there, they do
yeah.
it without telling people and expecting people to be ignorant about it. And then they probably go to their friends, oh, look what I did, I stuck the bisexual flag in the England flag, ha ha ha. And that's probably what's going on. They're just taking the mickey out of us all. They really are.
Oh, it's
So
a complete joke, and
Well,
we've
can I
seen.
just add, like really, really quickly though, if we look at what happened in Germany with that with their kit, and you're the 44 that ended up looking like a
Swastika
SS
SS,
symbol,
yeah.
right?
Haven't seen
It is funny. I mean, you have to admit it's quite funny, and they did almost sell out almost instantly. But the difference is Adidas immediately stopped selling it. They said, I think it was Adidas. I can't remember. I'm sure it was.
It
They said,
is, yes, it
right,
is
we've
Adidas.
put a lot,
Look here,
yeah.
look. They
I'm surprised
blocked
it wasn't
it.
Hugo Boss. Could have
They,
been Hugo Boss doing that one. I don't know,
well,
but they blocked it. They blocked this. So if they want to stop doing it, and they respect the country, like they obviously, this was a bit of a f up on their terms. But if they have respect for the country, then they'll obviously do it. But they don't respect Britain because they said no, we're going to keep on selling it.
so that's what it
Mad.
looked like. That's the Nazi recruitment poster for the SS, and that's what the number 44 ended up looking like. I mean, you would
Oh
think though,
gosh.
if you're Adidas, right? By the way, Adidas was a manufacturer during that period. You would surely think, hang on a minute, maybe we should choose a logo and a font that doesn't make the 4 look like SS.
Yeah,
Clearly,
you'd
there
think
was
so,
there
wouldn't
wasn't
you?
enough quality control and enough people looking over this
But
before
hang
it was
on, I want you to
filmed.
respond to this comment from Dave Clancy, because Dave thinks that we're all being miserable sods and that actually most people
Oh.
don't care what the design of the flag is. He says maybe focus on more important topics.
It is an
Well, look,
important topic.
can I?
Go
Yeah,
on,
it is.
Alex.
He's look. I think he's got a bit of a point. I'm not going to say say it's not worth talking about but he has got a point. It's obviously not the most important thing. But Dave, if you're still watching, which I doubt, I don't know if you are, but if you're still watching, the point is that this keeps on happening. It only
Yeah.
happens here in Britain. Americans would never do this to their flag on
No.
their national sporting team. It only happens here in the UK. So we have to get to a point where we say, look, when it comes to our national sports, enough is enough. I don't mind the flag people having a play on the flag and their own marketing and their own, if they want to do something fun with it, like the Rolling Stones, for example, all that stuff's fun. But when it comes to national sporting events, let's just say enough's enough.
Yes, like my
Yeah,
beautiful
what I would
Saturday
say
5
is,
flag.
uh,
Saturday 5,
Mm.
it's on weekends, 6 p.m, GB News.
sometimes 6 p.m., sometimes 7 p.m. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But what I was going to say is this, in response to Dave, is the reason why this is important is although flags alone may seem like a small issue, this is a symptom of a much bigger problem, which is why we're talking about this. The bigger problem is that we're living in an era where white people are demonized and Western countries like Britain are demonized. The fact that this is happening to British flags and English flags and not happening to the flags of any other countries is very significant. This tells you the mood that we are increasingly seeing, where it's okay to be racist against white people. It's okay for Hamza Yusuf to stand up and say there
Well,
are
don't
too
talk
many
too
white
much
people
about
in
that because we'll
this
get
parliament.
into that a bit more in a detail and a bit later on. But Dave has commented back. He is still watching, actually. So good on you, Dave. He says, thanks for answering. I see it as a celebration of our national identity. It's clearly a positive interpretation of the flag. It's not offensive and not worthy of the outrage that it seems to have caused. Well, I mean, you might very well think that, Dave, but actually, and Chloe, you mentioned there, I think there will be black and minority ethnic people. I hate that term, but if I can just use it because every bugger else in the media uses it. There will be black and minority ethnic people who came to this country who have seen the UK flag and like what it represents. They came here, they wanted to come here, who look at this attempt to make it new, fresh, and progressive and think, what on earth? It's meant to represent all four nations of the United Kingdom. This doesn't do that, right? This doesn't include symbols of Welsh identity or Northern Irish identity, Ulsterman. It doesn't include Scotland's identity, and it certainly doesn't include England's identity, not unless we're going in some bloody paddling pool as a nation, which maybe you would argue that we are going in the shitter, but metaphorically and not literally, because that's what this looks like. So, Dave, I'm sorry, I disagree. I think it is important that these things are protected because actually the flags and the symbols that represent us are incredibly important, but that's my opinion. But I appreciate you sticking around, Dave. You're a sucker for punishment, clearly.
Yeah, you're right. But even though I'm seeing it up close, I'm like, what are these squiggles and these
I
patterns? It
know.
just doesn't. There's nothing sporty about it either. If this is meant to be our Olympic flag, at least do something that represents sport. If you're gonna bastardize it, do something that at least represents it. It was like the London 2012 Olympics. I mean, who came up with that? A 5-year-old. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we just become suckers for having to reinvent everything in the 21st century. It's like it was perfectly fine for the last few hundred years when the Union flag was introduced across the United Kingdom. It's been perfectly fine. No one else had to bastardize it, did they?
No.
Right?
Yeah,
Why
see, the
now?
thing is even if Dave is right, and this isn't trying to, maybe we're being conspiracy theorists saying that this is about bashing Britain. At the end of the day, the flag still needs to change because it looks absolutely disgusting, even if that is the only problem here. Given how much time and money goes into the Olympics, this happens only 4 years. You've got 4 years to prepare and get a good graphic designer to make something that looks nice, and this is the best you can come up with.
I
Excuse
mean,
my French, but it's absolute shit.
I've just got to laugh at that again because I really do. That's just an incredible piece of a fuck up, isn't it? Really, if I can use that language. Have you got what it takes to be a reasoned presenter? Well, send us a short clip of yourself to join@reasoned.uk, and we might be seeing you on this very channel very soon indeed.